Hi everybody, welcome back to JT's Artist Oven. My name is Jeneen Terrana and I'm your host for the show. If you're new to JT's Artist Oven, what I'm doing here is I'm interviewing local artists. They're in my living room, we have a little chat, they play a song, and then we go into the kitchen and make their favorite recipe. Today I have Jon Christopher Allen. He's a neighbor of mine. He lives here in Astoria, Queens, and he's going to make some great food for us and sing us some wonderful songs. So I'm here with Jon Christopher Allen. Thanks so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to ask you a few questions about your music. When did you discover you wanted to be a musician?
I think pretty much the first time I picked up a guitar, I was like, I think I was about 15-ish, and it seemed like such a natural thing. You know, I felt like I had the world in the palm of my hands, you know. I wrote a song immediately without really knowing how to play, and I think since then, pretty much, I've been chasing that feeling ever since.
Your music is really powerful. That's one thing when I heard you play, it seemed like it was just natural for you to be singing and playing the guitar.
Yeah, it does. Right now it does. You know, it took me a while to get to that point where it feels just like I'm super connected to it. You know, my guitar and the rhythm of it. But at this point, I feel pretty connected.
You spent some time in Austin. Tell me what that was like. Is the community different there than it is here?
Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago. I've been there for 9 years now. I lived there for 4 years. But it's a great town. It's a great town. I mean, it's easy to fall in love with it. If you went down there, you probably want to stay. But it's I mean, it's a small space jammed with musicians. You know, tons of musicians.
Kind of like New York.
Something like that, yeah.
You just had a show at Rockwood 2, and there were tons of people there. It was a really great crowd. What's next for you musically?
Next is I'm going to record a record on a small label called Sojourn Records, and I'm really excited about it. It'll be like after all these years of doing this, I feel like I figured out my style. You know, this record will be... I mean, I love all my records. They were a good representation of where I was at that time. But this one, it feels like me.
When you're writing a song, what usually inspires you?
You know, I like to write from a place of movement more than I ever did before. You know, I like to move while I'm writing. I want to try to make people move when I play for them. So I try to come from a place of like a groove, you know?
Yeah, you definitely have a groove in your music.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that thing under your foot there.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Well, I've had lots of different variations. Like that show at Rockwood, I had a different one.
Did you?
It looked like a small coffin. It has a mic inside. My friend Anthony Cardillo built it.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool. That's cool too, but I have to plug it in to the PA. I have to be in a nice place to use that because it has to be EQ'd the right way so it sounds like a kick drum, or else it just sounds like it doesn't sound good. But if I'm playing like a small place and I just want a little rhythm, I'll use this thing. It's just basically it's a piece of wood with a
like a tambourine in it?
Yeah, that's a tambourine that will go on a hi-hat usually. Let's just put a thing through it.
Cool.
Put it on. Just to give you a little bit of rhythm.
So what song are you going to sing for us, Jon?
I'm going to sing a song called Keep a Light On. I haven't recorded it yet, but it's going to be in my new record.
Awesome.
Be recorded soon.
Do you mind if I sing with you?
I would love it.
Okay.
That'd be fantastic. I can't hear you, child. Must have bad connection, and you out there somewhere where you don't get reception. You may need somebody to help you forget it all. I can't see you, child. Distance blurs my vision. It could be a dark world in the day we live in. Found your truth and let it lead you. It'll never stray you wrong. I keep the light on. I keep the light on. hard out there when you try to make a living. And don't let no one stop you now. They gon' try, but you're too far gone. You're too far gone. I keep the light on. 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 Carry it with me everywhere I go. So in case you need to, you can find your way home. Your way home. And you out there, it's sometime somewhere. And you out there, it's sometime somewhere. I keep a light on. 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 Keep it with me everywhere I go. So in case you need to, you can find your way home.
Woo!
Was that there still?
That was awesome. Let's go cook.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a table full of ingredients. Would you tell us a little bit about what goes into this dish?
Sure. We got the staple of all foods: onions,
Yummy.
string beans, sweet potatoes, celery, and this is black bean and white beans. Some hot sauce, feta cheese, which we add later. I guess that's technically a garnish, right? And then we have the quinoa.
Quinoa.
And the basic salt, pepper, garlic, and a can of tomato sauce.
So what is step one?
Okay, step one is you take the basic core ingredients, the vegetables, put them in a pan all at the same time, and start to saute it. So,
All right,
take the celery,
let's go. Celery,
throw it in, sweet potatoes,
sweet potatoes, yummy.
string beans, onions. I learned from my grandmother. She was an amazing cook. She just died a couple years ago. I think she was 99 years old.
Wow.
She was a great cook. She always used a lot of onions. When she had a lot of time, she would cook things slowly. And somehow that just drew all the flavor out of the food, and it was so good. And then we just throw some garlic in there. Obviously, probably best if you cut your own garlic, fresh garlic, but I'm lazy, so I just do this.
Somebody did it for you. There's nothing wrong with that.
So, and I like to put a healthy portion of olive oil in there too.
All right, let's get some olive oil. I'll let you do the honors.
Okay. Okay. We're going to put that on a low flame and let it saute.
All right. All right, so this has been sauteing for about 20 minutes, is that right?
On a low flame.
And the vegetables look nice and soft, as you can see. And now we're going to add tomato sauce, right?
Yep, we're going to add the tomato sauce.
Okay.
Kind of, yep, mix it all together.
All right, what's next?
Next thing is, I like to add the salt and the pepper at this point.
All right, so just tell me when to stop.
Sure. I would say that's good for now.
Okay. Something nice about fresh cracked pepper.
Yeah, I love the smell of it. It's just, I like to put a healthy amount of pepper. And I like hot sauce in it. If I'm making it, and I know other people are going to be eating it, I don't always put the hot sauce because not everyone likes that. But I would say go ahead and put that in there.
All right.
Put a decent amount in there. There you go. That's good.
Perfect. And just stir it in.
Yep, stir it in. And once I add the tomato sauce and the hot sauce and the salt and pepper, I let it saute again for another about 15 minutes on the same flame. Let it kind of just soak and all congeal, come together with the tomato sauce and the other ingredients.
So we've been sauteing that for about 15 minutes. I think we're ready for the next step.
Yep. And just as a note, I typically do have the pot covered with a little space to let some air out. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take the black beans first. And the white beans. Put them in. Mix that all together. Like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it always looks pretty when you put the black beans in and mix it all together. And then we're going to add the water. So this is important. We're not making soup. It's going to come out like a stew. So you want to just add enough water so that it's covered, like a blanket on top of it.
Okay.
So just stir that all together. That's about it, you know.
Okay, so it's a little soupy, but not too
A little
much.
soupy, but it's still going to absorb a lot of that water. So when this is in a couple hours, which is pretty much how long you have to let this cook now, it will have to absorb most of that water.
Okay.
It'll be stew-like. So at this point, we're finished adding our ingredients. Leave the flame as it is. Cover it with a little bit of an opening, and let it work for a couple hours.
Perfect.
And you know, it obviously needs some stirring. So every couple, like 10 minutes or so, come by and give it a stir.
Okay.
Cover it back up, and you'll know when it's done. Like I mentioned before, it just, you can't even see the separate ingredients. It all kind of just looks one.
Perfect.
That's it. That's pretty much it for now.
So this has been cooking for about 2 hours. Everything's coming together real nice. The final step is the quinoa.
Yeah. And when it's done, like I said, it'll have that sort of congealed sort of one look. You turn off the flame, and then you just put the quinoa in. And when you put the quinoa in, you kind of gotta use your judgment. This is probably like a half a cup right here.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm always tempted to put more than is necessary. Just like with rice, you know, you add rice. It seems
Yeah.
like such a little amount. When you put it in, it really absorbs and expands, and it'll take over the dish. You want it to have a prominent role, but not take over. So this is about the amount needed for our ingredients.
So like a half a cup.
Yeah, about a half a cup, I'd say.
Okay.
And just put it in, and the heat left from the food will just cook it, and that's it.
Awesome. So this is what it looks like when it's finished cooking. And now it's time to mix it with the garnishes.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, I make this and I kind of eat it for the whole week, typically. So, what I'll do is I'll take it from the main pot, put a healthy portion into a smaller pot, turn it up, and then I add olive oil again to it, just to kind of give it some. Olive oil does something to food, you know.
Yeah.
It gives it just a moistness to it. I typically add a little more salt at this point, a little more pepper, and a little more hot sauce. And then kind of stir it all up and let it get nice and hot. And while that is heating up, what I'll do is I'll fry an egg, which will eventually go on top of the completed bowl. So crack it. Okay. That's our dish right there. See, it's nice and over easy. Right on top like that. We're gonna go ahead and add some garnishes.
I love fresh avocado.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Don't worry about that.
I'm kind of messy. When I cook, kitchen knows it. It's a mess.
Same here.
I can't worry about that. Like when I'm writing a song, I can't worry about what kind of mess I'm making.
I agree.
Some feta cheese. And the peanuts. This is key. You wouldn't think of it, but
no,
peanuts
you
somehow
wouldn't. Peanuts are a
make
great
it all
garnish.
kind of come together. And that's it.
Perfection.
I'd still put a little bit more pepper. Just to, if nothing else, it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it does.
And that's it. There's one more thing actually that I do.
Okay.
I love to eat this with one of those crackers. I'll just grab one.
Did you get the bowl?
Put some hummus on here. Break it in half, sort of. That's half of my life. And that's it. Just sort of, and you start to eat. You're good.
Beautiful. All right, let's taste.
Okay.
This is such a beautiful dish. Lots of colors going on here, but I'm going to do my favorite part of the show, and that's taste it. Oh my God, that's delicious. It tastes so much better than it smells, and it smells great. And I love everything that's going on here. There's nuts, there's feta. Well, thank you so much, Jon, for coming over and making this delicious dish.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I highly recommend you making this at home, and it's very healthy. People can find you on the internet at jonchristopherallen.com, and it's Jon,
No H.
no H. You can hear his music, you can buy his CDs and see where he's playing next. And thank you for watching JT's Artist Oven. I'm Jeneen Terrana. You can find me at JeneenTerrana.com and Facebook and Twitter and all those other fun places. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.